Hey YouTube, this episode is about the strategic overview of The Shepherd, A Bronze Age Tale, and how it's going to be used to bring Ashley Oosthuizen to the world stage. So to start with, the book is dedicated to Ashley Oosthuizen, every single book. Secondly, one of the main characters named Bioka is directly modeled after Ashley. She's very sweet and lovable. Thirdly, 100% of the author profits will be going directly from the publisher to Hearts for Ashley, which is controlled by Ashley's mom, who lives with her outside of the prison in Thailand. So that's just a start. And so there's already a website, of course. It's listed in a lot of places. It's already on pre-sale on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. And we know that with 5,000 books sold in a week, we make the New York Times bestseller list. And so it's not very hard to imagine being able to sell tangible, real objects that are able to unite people around the world, both with a quality original story. Okay, 15 months was spent crafting the story every single morning. You can read an excerpt of it on the website at www.theshepherdnovel.com so that you can see that tremendous everything was put into making this good enough that people would want to read it, not only to support Ashley, because that will get some people to buy it that may know about Ashley or into that sort of philanthropy, but that's good enough to be purchased by people that like good stories, and even perhaps something that could make it onto media. Because my overarching theme with everything is, how do I get Ashley Oosthuizen's name to the world stage? Because I know, unlike other people, that Ashley is the center of a scapegoat operation, a persecution where she has been made to stand in for an international school on Koh Samui that's run by a Thai mobster that has connections with the Boput police, the same police that rape prisoners on camera and get out on bail the next day. And so I am fully aware that Ashley is not going to just simply be able to be let go, because to do so would undo the nice bow that has been put around Hot in the Biscuit and Ashley as some sort of international dark web drug trafficker. Because that's much better than a prestigious international school being the center of an importation ring for many years under the noses of high-ranking people in the school and the police department, law enforcement, which again are controlled and operated in tandem with the local mafia families. And so I know, once again, that when it comes to light, that Ashley was entrapped, forced into signing her name to a package which was to a man, or even worse, that she was taken to a black house with no lawyer, no interpreter, with a dozen male officers, 15 in fact, threatening her with rape, forcing her to sign documents that were not even written in English, written in Thai, and then pushing that as a confession, despite not finding any drugs at her house or in her system. I mean, it's insanity. And so, that's the whole point of everything, of the website, me learning how to code, of trying to go to Ukraine to get that right. I was hoping that that would do it. And we made Rolling Stone, but Ashley's South African. Stephen was American. So, of course, the second American who died in Ukraine, that's worth a Rolling Stone story, whereas the poor little South African girl rotting away in dungeons while rapists and murderers go free, that is suppressed or not newsworthy. And so The Shepherd, again, simply through sheer volume of sales, will directly allow for these incredible injustices to come into such a light that it will no longer be able to be hidden by shadows. And so at that point, when you have that unification and that building of publicity and that support, and with Ashley's mother, every single book, Ashley's mother receives more aid. Hopefully enough aid to be able to afford the well-placed lawyers and human rights groups to get Ashley out of there much faster, to be able to provide for them a nice life after all of this nightmare. Because again, 100% of the profits of the author, not the publisher, but the author, is going straight to her. And so when it comes on to CNN through, and again, there's this YouTube channel as well. So subscribe, help save Ashley Oosthuizen by just subscribing to this channel. Because at this point, it's just a numbers game. That is it. Because when we get enough numbers, either through books, through social media, or a combination of both, then these insane injustices that I've cited, and some have not been cited just for time's sake, they will come out into the light. And then when compared to the other treatment, again, of the sergeant major in the same Beauput Police Department on film raping a 21-year-old, same age as Ashley, same time as Ashley is in the jail. Ashley could have been in the same cell. But he chose the dark-skinned one instead of the light-skinned one because he knew if he chose the light-skinned one, there'd be a lot more trouble. He probably wouldn't have got bail the next day after getting caught on camera. And so when all of these things come out onto CNN and BBC because of this story, and why was the story written? For this love. For who? For this angel that's rotting away, and all of these other things that have been done. Why have they been done? To bring attention. To bring attention to what? To what happened to her. Because when that does come to light, we've already seen what the power of publicity and support can do with Brittany Griner, who was found guilty of transporting cannabis through an airport in Russia, and yet now is back home in the USA from the Gulag. Thailand is a nation that is friendly with the West, unlike Russia, and dependent on tourism. So once you start having book sales and social media followings and audience that start to propel Ashley's name onto the level of news where you start to actually have uncomfortable conversations, or even worse, dips in bottom lines, very quickly will Ashley no longer be maintained inside of these Thai dungeons. And so by using a real tangible object such as the shepherd to bring Ashley's name to that global stage, she will no longer be able to be ignored, and the way that her case and just the complete injustice of it all happened will no longer be able to be kept under the rug, and it will quickly become apparent that there are better arrangements that can be made than keeping this young lady who's going on 4 years in prison there where she now sits. And so that's the point of the shepherd, of the YouTube channel, of the Twitter, and of the nonfiction false positive, which we'll talk about later, because the shepherd is already on pre-release now. It's already able to directly support Ashley, because with Ashley's followers, that book can easily make it to the international bestsellers list in the 10 months between now and publication, so that as soon as it hits, or even before, people are asking, who is Ashley Oosthuizen? And that's all we want. People to ask, because when they ask, then they'll look, and when they look, they'll be outraged. And when the outrage grows, then again, do they really want to dig in their heels on this? Really? At what point does it become unworth it? That's the point that I'm going to, full steam ahead, and have been 3.5 years, 7 days a week. So when you have the opportunity, please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel, assist, and know why the shepherd is coming out, and why it was written, and what it will do directly and indirectly. Publicity and support directly for Ashley and her family. And of course, you can play devil's advocate and say, well, what are you getting out of it? Well, believe it or not, I really love Ashley. And my life cannot continue until she is out of prison, regardless of what happens after that. Okay, so that's number one. She is in misery, and I'm in purgatory. Neither is a destination a person wants to stay at. And so I really, 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 really want Ashley to be free, both for her sake, because she's losing days every day that she'll never get back, and for mine, because I want to be happy again. I want to have joy. Because, so, I just am trying really hard to get her out and to help her. And I know a lot of people, they see me as this monster because of what I put online and because of what I said to try and help Ashley. And that's what I'm continuing to try and do. And so, with the shepherd and with the power of social media and these audiences, there can and there is going to be the point reached where Ashley, is no longer ignored, and where the powers that be are no longer able to defend the indefensible. And Ashley will be able to come home. And yes, to continue playing devil's advocate, my name is on the book. I did try, and you can ask Ashley when you get a chance. I did try. I said, let me put your name on the book, right? Because I'm going to send all the money to you anyway, so then I put your name on the book, but she wasn't able to read it, right? Because I can only send letters that are 5 pages at a time once a week, and so she's probably got like close to 100 pages by now, but she wasn't able to read it all. And so she wasn't, sure. And then she thought like it would be dishonest, because then it's like she didn't actually write it. And then, because bless her heart, she's just very sweet and very, that's just the way she is. And so my name is on it. And there is another book, and there are going to be more books, because I believe that there's a capacity within me to write stories, to craft novels. And so there will be more in the future. And so, of course, that by having a book that is known well around the world will help me later. But then, of course, I fully hope, well, I don't, I'll just leave that there. So, in the long term, sure, there's residual benefits to play devil's advocate, but, that's not why I wrote it. But I just decided that when I finished, and then it got published, and then when I was in the second one, that I'd actually enjoy writing. And so I thought that it would be something as a supplemental, because it's something you can do as you get old, right? You could be 80 and still writing, whereas you can't be a roofer or a painter or other things. And so I just thought that it would be something that I could do, and then, in 20 years, maybe have 10 books, and then who knows, that could be something that could help me and in the future. So that's devil's advocate. But the short term, everything, the point of everything is to get Ashley out of prison. And the only way that I believe that can happen is by getting her on the world stage, because, again, Ashley is the center of a scapegoat cover-up operation between corrupt police and Thai mafia, on a family that's controlled by a few families, on an island that's controlled by a few families, criminal families, in a nation that's a monarchy. It's not like the West. It doesn't have Western justice. It doesn't have Western modes of thought. So, saving face, all these things, the only way that it's going to happen before Ashley's in her 30s is to force it. And Brittany Griner has proved that it can happen, but Ashley wasn't in the WNBA, and so I am using the novels and the social media to give her that WNBA voice, so that she can get the same treatment and make it home, hopefully, before too much time has passed. So that is the reason behind The Shepherd. You can check it out, again, at the website, www.theshepherdnovel.com. You can read it for yourself and see the story, the effort that has gone in there. You can even read a little bit of Bioka. She comes in, I think, in chapter 4. Maybe 5. And just know that every single book that you purchase is going to directly support Ashley through publicity, and Ashley's family through the sales from the publisher. So I hope that you will give it a go, and that you will subscribe to this channel and support in building up the audience that is needed to end this terrible blight. So, until next time.